Hello, how's it going? I haven't done a live in so long. I feel like I'm out of practice. Hi everyone, welcome. Um, as folks are joining or watching the recorded later. Hi, how's it going? Let me know how you're doing, what you're currently reading, unless it's, of course, the book that we're about to discuss. Then, some folks might still be finishing up. But anyways, here is my coffee. I just made it. I'm so excited. I have both vanilla syrup and pumpkin spice. Oh, okay. My email's telling me I just went live. I know. I'm here. But yeah, let me know if you have a beverage, if you have a snack, how you're doing, what you're currently reading, if you're still finishing up Lovelight Farms, if you just started, if you already read it, but you're here, you're hanging out. Yeah, so let's catch up. Okay, pumpkin spice ready. Also, before we get to chatting, I'm lighting my candle. So I am a huge fan of this very small business candle company, Wick and Whimsy. The one who runs it, now I'm forgetting her name. Is it Sabrina? Oh, I feel so bad. Okay, anyways, Wick and Whimsy, best candles ever, but she only does small restocks of the candles, like sometimes only once a year. And she hadn't done a restock for like over a year. So I have been saving this dark academia candle that I had for like the last year and I haven't been burning it, but she just restocked and I literally just got my package with my next one. So I feel safe to burn this now. Okay. Let's jump right in. Okay. For anyone joining live, feel free to add some thoughts in the comments in the live chat. For anyone watching later, feel free to add comments in the comment section and let's just jump right in. So first, I figured I'd start off with a little bit of a no spoiler review, just some general thoughts for anyone who wanted to just get a little taste of what the book was about. If anyone had not had the time to read it yet, was still kind of testing the waters, wasn't too sure, let's talk some non-spoiler review. So I am a little biased because I have already read the book. So this is a reread. I read it in last December, absolutely loved it. And that's why I picked this book and this series right behind me. That's why I picked this book in this series for the first pick of the book club. I haven't, hosted my own book club before, very nervous. So I wanted to pick a safe option, if you will, something that I had already read. And I love this series. Let's grab it. So, non-spoilerly review. I love this book. I think that it is such a wonderful amalgamation of coziness, of like the start of the holiday season. Also, if you disagree, that is totally fine. We can critique, we'll talk all about it. Feel free to like jump in then with any critiques. But I personally love it. I think it's so sweet, so cozy. I love the like fake dating, even though I hate the miscommunication trope, which was one of our discussion questions, which we'll talk about. But I love like it's not like a slow, it's not a slow burn. Like I feel like they jump right into it. But the kind of friends to lovers pipeline is always one of my favorites. So that's kind of like my no spoilery thoughts on it. Let me know what you rated it because I rated it 5 stars last year. I'm doing it again this year. I do have more critiques in like my second round of reading it, which we'll discuss. Yeah, overall, would love to talk about the tropes, the themes, the things we noticed. So, in terms of tropes, obviously there's the fake dating, there's the friends to lovers. Um, what else? Those are the two that like come straight to mind. I know I'm missing some small town romance. Um, Yeah, I would say that those are kind of like the main ones. But yeah, for themes, I think there's definitely a lot of themes about like love and loss and some insecurities, which I think definitely are the ones that lead to the main like blast conclusion where things fall apart. And we can talk about whether or not we thought that's valid. In terms of favorite, least favorite characters, one of my favorite characters is definitely Layla, and I love Beckett. I love all of the like side characters, but I also love Luka. So yeah, Stella, love Stella, but she does get on my nerves every once in a while. So yeah. So let me know what your thoughts are on those. If you have other favorite characters, least favorite characters, things that bugged you, tropes, themes, the like, all of the above. Yeah. And I think we'll just pop right into the discussion. So I prepped a couple discussion questions. We can kind of bounce around a little bit and just kind of talk it out. Just talk out our thoughts. Let's have a little another coffee break. Okay. All right. So first, for my questions, there we go. First impressions of plot. So the plot setup, it becomes pretty clear very quickly that Stella's has also, we're going right into the spoilers, by the way. I should have forewarned. We are fully spoiling at this point. So if you haven't read it, you've been warned. But it becomes pretty evident pretty quick that Stella has been in love with Luka for a while, and also vice versa. My thoughts on the plot, I mean, I prefer a slow burn. I preferred if we had like taken a little bit more time with it, maybe had it been a little bit more mysterious, but also like here's the thing, it's a romance. We know what we're in for. We know what's coming. We know that almost always at the end people will end up together and there'll be some kind of like miscommunication. Hello. There'll be some kind of miscommunication along the way, right? So those are my thoughts. Let me know if you disagree. But I mean, I think they're so cute. I love them. There's so much chemistry there. And even though I would have preferred a slower burn, like it is what it is. I'll take what I can get. Then for question number 2. So you may have noticed, you may have seen either from reviews or just from your own perception that it's a fake dating trope, but like let's be honest, is it fake? Is it that fake to begin with? No. No. It's like not really a fake dating trope, but like I'm okay with that, you know. So like what I'm thinking is like what did we gain and what did we lose from like the fake dating aspects? Like if no fake dating was involved, what would have been different? What would have, I don't know, maybe gone better? Would have been more interesting from the plot? Personally, I think that like it's just because I hate miscommunication as a trope. It really bugs me. So I think we would have gained a lot more communication if there hadn't been like the fake dating. But then also, like, where's the story? You know, where's the story if there's no tension, if there's no point for things to fall apart? So, like, I will accept the things I cannot change, which is the miscommunication here. Yeah, but I do think it's funny that it's fake dating and it's like so evidently not fake. I mean, that's the whole point of fake dating, right? But I think in other books, in other cases where there is fake dating, it's a much more gradual pipeline of like, oh, I guess we have to fake date. But like for this one, Luka and Stella are like, oh no, oh no, we have to fake date. Oh, bummer. Like, this is my dream. I've been waiting for this moment all my life. So it's a lot less fake than other ones. Yeah. Anyways, so for question 3, I was wondering, so the entire book is written in Stella's POV. It's very much first person perspective and from her point of view, except for the one bonus chapter, which is really fun and exciting because that bonus chapter, I think it wasn't in the original book. It was something that everyone was kind of like, not everyone, but a lot of people were asking B K Borison, the author, to include because it was like the spicy kitchen scene was alluded to in like the middle of the book. Everyone was like, ah, it's too bad. It's too bad we didn't get that one. So I think it's so wild that she included it for the Berkeley, like, traditional published version of the book. I think that's so fun. So I love that chapter. I think it was great to see a part of the book from Luka's perspective because obviously we didn't get that throughout the rest of the book. We were just seeing everything through Stella's eyes and how she was perceiving things, which a lot of it was clouded by her past history and the things she was personally struggling with. So I thought it was great to see something from Luka's perspective. But like let's talk about like if if the book had been dual perspective, if we'd been hearing from both Stella and Luka's point of views throughout it, would that have changed how we read the book? I think obviously yes. That's just what I think. But I think I mean, from like the reader's perspective, it was so clear throughout most of the book that they were both falling for each other. It was very much hinted towards. I think as the reader, you could see that very clearly, even if Stella, from her perspective, didn't see it. Like it was pretty clear to the reader that that was what was going on. And I think if we had had Luca's, I don't know if that would have changed it that much. I think it would have maybe taken away some of the tension or made it a little bit less exciting. But since B.K. Borison wrote the whole book anyways, from that kind of like obvious romance perspective, I don't know if it would have. But again, I'm not the authority on the matter. Like I could be wrong. Now question 4. Okay. The criminal Christmas tyrant, as I like to call him. What's his name? Hewitt, the criminal Christmas tyrant. So I know that this section of the book is like a little not divisive, but some people disagree about how this kind of played out. So of course, like the reason that the Christmas tree farm isn't doing too well is because of all of these small little inconveniences and little things that have just been piling up and piling up, and to have just been kind of like a money suck throughout all of it, right? And when we find out that it was Hewitt this whole time, the criminal Christmas tyrant, if we will, it threw me. When I first read the book, it threw me. Like, also, in, like, the pages that were right up to when it was revealed who it was, like, the whole time I was wondering, like, who could it possibly be? Like, it's definitely going to be someone we've already been introduced to. Like, it has to be. Otherwise, if it's some random guy or some random person, you're like, "Okay." Like, "All right." Like, random person we've never heard of who has a vendetta. Like, it just doesn't have as much intrigue or suspense or interest from the reader, right? So, yeah. So, there really wasn't anyone else who it could have been, right? When you think back, because I was trying to ponder my way through. I was like, maybe it was that random guy who was rude to Stella in the streets. Oh my God, hi Liv. How are you doing? Oh my God. See, I read it last Christmas too. That was when I originally read Lovelight Farms, and then I decided to make it my first book club pick because I wanted something safe that I knew would be good as a first book club pick. But hi, thanks for stopping by. Let me know what you thought of of the book because I personally love it, but I know there's some people who didn't like it. Yeah, anyways, hi. Christmas Tyrant. So, like, it's Hewitt, right? So who else like could it have possibly been? Because it's the only negative interaction she really has. Everyone else loves her. Everyone else is super sweet. And then she just has this random run in where she like literally plows him down in the street. I'm like, retrospectively, of course it's him, but add to that, yeah. Oh, didn't love the book. Oh, thank you. Thank you. I also thought it was a smart idea to, to choose the safe option. Didn't love the book, but did enjoy the side characters more. Yeah, I feel that. I mean, I love the book, but I definitely think that the side characters were my favorite. I personally love Luka. Stella was like, I like Stella, but I know she's like a little annoying at times, and like it's so frustrating towards the end. But like the small town vibes and like the Christmas tree farm vibes and just like all of the neighbors in the town, that's like my favorite part of the story. And the fact, oh god, there we go. And the fact where like in the other two books you can see the recurring small town characters are just like my favorite part. But yeah. Yeah, enough on the Christmas Tyrant. Now, for a fun question, tying it back to, the criminal intent, where this man wanted to have his own alpaca farm. Like, sure, okay. Very random, but like, sure, fine. Would you prefer an alpaca or a Christmas tree farm? Like, I hate to side with the villain of the story, but like, an alpaca farm would be a gosh darn good time. Love the Christmas tree. Love the Christmas tree farms. Love them. So cozy, so atmospheric. I love Lovelight Farms. Very like cozy, very comforting environment. Sounds beautiful. Literally all of the descriptions of the farms, beautiful, amazing. Wow. I personally I would love an alpaca. I think I would go alpaca farm. Like, sorry, everybody, but yeah, yikes. Okay, question number 6. So this is harkening back to a very specific passage in the book where Evelyn was like showing up and she's like, "Oh my gosh, this makes me feel like a child again." And Stella comments on how everyone deserves to feel childlike joy during the holidays and all of that. So, question, what brings you childlike joy during the holidays? I feel like the holidays are just they just have that. They just have this special energy. Um that might just be like the community I'm in and the environment that I'm in. You might not agree. You might have like a different time of year or a different situation that has more of that like childlike joy. So feel free to chime in. But for me, definitely the holidays. I feel like it's just such time of nostalgia, and it starts for the fall for me. Love the fall season, definitely my favorite season. It has that nostalgia. It has like just cozy memories, comfort, so many sweaters. That's why I'm wearing literally a sweater when it's like 30 degrees out. And if you don't know Celsius, I think that's like 90 something Fahrenheit. Maybe. Yeah, I'm sweating so much, but it's all about the atmosphere. It's about the vibes today. So, yeah, those are that's what I think. Yeah. Okay. Question number 7. So, this is what I was kind of leading into earlier. How do we feel about any frustrations with Stella in not believing Luca's confession? Because I'm with you there. It frustrated to me to no end. As I said, I hate the miscommunication trope so much, and it is such a common romance trope. Like, I love romance books. I love reading like slow burn, friends to lovers, all of that. The problem is so many of those stories then have miscommunication as like the main trope, which makes sense because it's nice that like both parties love each other, both want something in like a relationship type of situation, something like that. So, like, what else could be the obstacle if it's not like a Romeo Juliet family war situation, but miscommunication? Like, hypothetically, in my brain, I understand that. I still hate miscommunication though, but I still like the book. So that, yeah. So I can definitely see how Stella's past history, how her experiences with her mom, with her father, with I'm assuming maybe other people, but those are two like very pinnacle people in her life, how that has kind of traumatized her in a way that she isn't able to like fully accept that Luka is being truthful, because that would be putting herself in a very vulnerable situation, opening up opening herself up to major hurt, and then, if things fall apart, then she loses this really important person in her life that she's had for in her life for 10 plus years. So, like, I see that, but the man just confessed he was in love with you, like, and like the climax and when it all falls apart did not last long, like, at all. Right? So it was like a very short major climax. Everything falls apart. Everything's horrible. Right after like a beautiful part of the story. So like, and then everything's, mended very quickly. Like, it's all fine. Everything's fine. So I understand her perspective, still frustrated about it, still I almost skipped it. I was like, I can't skip it. I'm like, we're discussing this for book club. Like, I can't skip this. Which, like, I mean, I read it last year, so I don't actually remember it that well. But gosh, I thought about it. Is what it is. Okay. Small town and the phone tree specifically, but like the whole very small town, very close-knit, tiny community, plus the absurdity of the phone tree. Do we think charming or obnoxious? I'm leaning charming. It's a little, I don't think, like, in my mind, it's a very like romanticized environment. I'm like, oh, small town, see the same people every day, all of that. But here's the thing, I also grew up in a small town and I wanted to leave it. So I grew up on an island, which we kind of referred to as the Rock, because you're surrounded by a body of water. Like, you drive for 4 hours, you hit the other side of the island. Loved it. Love it still. Love it now. Loved it growing up. But it is a small town community. And if you go to Costco, you will see 5 people that you know. If you go to the beach, you will see so many people that by the time you are from the beginning of the beach to the spot where you decide to sit down, you will have spent like 20 minutes getting there, because you're just saying hi to so many people that you know, which is great, which is something I miss sometimes. But it was also one of the reasons I wanted to get off the island and go somewhere else. So, like, from a now stepped back perspective, the small town vibes, the charm, the phone tree, everyone being in everyone's business. Wow, it sounds great. It sounds lovely. Realistically, though, I don't think that is for me. So realistically, I would actually find it very obnoxious, and I no. But in the book perspective, it sounds kind of nice, right? Is that just me? Maybe. Okay, last official question for our little book club moment. Okay, so the second book, that one's gonna fall over. How much you want to bet? Okay, for the second book, In the Weeds, which I can never remember which one is second or third, so I literally had to look it up to make sure. But for the second book, In the Weeds, so this one is from the perspective of Beckett and Evelyn. It's their romance. It's literally the entire synopsis. I'm not giving anything away, I promise. So that's their romance. So do we have any predictions for what will go down, what will happen? I feel like some of it was definitely alluded to in this one, like that's kind of a pinnacle setback, if you will, of the first book, Lovelight Farms, because obviously the tension and the history between Evelyn, who's the social media person who came into town, and Beckett, who's like he was the main farmhand who works on the farm. That is kind of what is already like a major setback in the first book. So we already see there's some history, there's some mystery. We don't know what went down there. So like I feel like there's some definite hints for what's to come in this one. I've already read this one, so I don't think I can like really fully comment on what my predictions are because I know, and I really enjoyed this book and I really liked how they did it. And actually, among the 3 books, this one's my second favorite. Mixed Signals, that one, I think is my first favorite. I don't remember. It's been like a year, okay? But these two, the second one and the third one are actually my favorites of the series, and Lovelight is third favorite. I really enjoyed it still though. But if you have any predictions based off what went down in Lovelight Farms, based off of like these little, not flashback, foreshadowing, little bits of foreshadowing that was sprinkled around in book 1, let me know. We can discuss. I won't give any spoilers away. I'll just say very vague things that will not give anything away. But yeah, so thanks so much for coming along. If you have any thoughts on any of the questions I discussed, feel free to add them down in the comments and we can chat away. But that was kind of like the main discussion portion of the book club. So for the next part, this is not going to be how regular book club goes down, but as a little celebratory kickoff of the first month of book club is the reason why we're reading 3 books in a month. That is not going to be the normal going forward. I just was really excited and I wanted to, kick it off with a bang. So that is why this coming week we are going to be reading In the Weeds, the second book. If you did not read Lovelight Farms, do not worry about it. If you'd already read Lovelight Farms like Liv and you wanted to read In the Weeds with us, absolutely no stress. You don't have to read these 3 books either together or in a specific order. They all are their own standalone romances. It's just that they're within the same town and like you see snippets from like the other people. So I think Luka and Stella are like in one scene in in the Weeds. So if you didn't enjoy Lovelight Farms, or if you've already read it, or if you didn't read Lovelight Farms and you wanted to participate in reading In the Weeds, absolutely feel free to jump in. No stress. We won't be talking about Lovelight Farms, the first book, in our next live show. So feel free to just like jump in and hang out. But yeah, so we are going to be starting this one starting today, and then we will be having the next live show next week. Although next week's live show will be a little bit later in the day because I have one of my really good friends' birthday parties earlier in the day. So it will have to be a little bit later, and I will announce that on my Instagram, on the Fable Book Club, which is linked down below if you want to join, and also in my YouTube community tab. So feel free to hop on that. And we are going to end today with a little reading sprint. So if you already have your copy of In the Weeds and you wanted to start reading it with me here right now, feel free to hang out, read with me. If you're reading something else and you just want to hang out and participate in a reading sprint, you are absolutely invited to do that. You do not have to be reading In the Weeds to hang out with the reading sprint right now. I think I'm going to do I think in sets of 10. Yes, I think I'll do sets of 10. If you have any specific requests for amount of time. Oh no, hang on. That was my old one. Let me fix this to 10. Okay, perfect. We are going to be starting in 1 minute, right at the 30-minute mark. Look at that. That worked out so beautifully. Okay. I'm going to be reading In the Weeds. Again, you don't have to be reading In the Weeds. You can just grab any book you're currently reading. If you're currently reading Lovelight Farms or In the Weeds, amazing. If you aren't, amazing. If you're reading something else, let me know. If you're reading this, let me know. And we're going to get right started. So let's read. All right. I'm going to resituate myself. Okay. Read. All right, so that was 10 minutes. We just hit 40. Okay. Well, I hope whatever you were reading, if you joined in for the reading sprint, you enjoyed, whether or not if it was in the woods or something, or in the weeds or something else. I hope you enjoyed the reading sprint. I'm going to log off now. Thank you so much for joining today. Let me know if you have any other thoughts on Lovelight Farms or our next pick, In the Weeds. As I mentioned, for October, we're just going to be reading one book for the whole month. It's going to be so much more chill in October. I just got very excited for September since it's also my birthday month. So I just wanted to go wild and have a little reread of some of my favorite books. So if you're joining us for book 2, again, some reminders, you don't have to have read Lovelight Farms to read In the Weeds. They are separate stories. It's not exactly a sequel. It just takes place in the same town with similar characters. But if you want to join, feel free. And that's it for me today. Thanks so much for logging on, for hanging out. And I'll talk to y'all in the next one. I hope y'all have a lovely day and enjoy whatever books you may be reading. Bye!